Hi, I'm Ben Murdoch, the Songwriter Coach, and welcome to day 2 of this lyric writing challenge designed to keep us staying creative during lockdown and isolation. So a quick question for all of you songwriters out there. Do you ever get stuck writing lyrics, or when you've written some, you find they don't flow well or sound quite right in how you wanted them to sound? Surely you've all experienced this at some point. Well, today's challenge is all about correcting this. A simple way, a super simple way to do so. It's based on the old adage, think before you speak. This think before you speak, it's a great advice which I've not always lived up to myself, and I have fallen foul of it, haven't we all? It's great for life, but it's also a great starting point for lyric writing and this particular lyric writing challenge. So by the end of this challenge, you'll be able to write clear, meaningful lyrics which sound and sing well. So if that's something you'd like to learn, then hit like and keep watching. So in order to make sense, we need to think before we speak. And that's true for everyday conversations as well as writing in any form. But lyric writing isn't all cerebral and just about thinking. Most songs have some element of emotion and feeling in them too. So there's a step before think before you speak. You need to feel before you think. So if we look at Lewis Capaldi's amazing classic song, Someone You Loved, you know that he thought about writing those lyrics because of how he was feeling. So the feeling came first, then he thought about the specific words based on those feelings. So the first part of the challenge today is to get in the zone and feel something that you want to write about. It could be how you fell in or out of love, or both. You might write about your growing up story or how you're feeling about the things going on in the world right now. Choose something you feel strongly about, which inspires you, and then we'll move on. Okay, so you've chosen something you feel really strongly about. Now you need to get in the zone with those feelings, spend some quality time with them, getting to know them again, so that when you write about them, the writing is strong because you've really connected. Now let's move from feeling to thinking. One way to do this is grab a piece of paper and a pen, or open up a note on your phone or laptop and write down everything you think about this feeling. So back to Lewis Capaldi. If he'd have done this exercise, his sheet might have things like day turns into night on it, or you're not here, or you pulled the rug, or I let my guard down, I need somebody, and of course I was someone you loved. Those sorts of things. So you've got a load of things down now of your own by this stage. Now comes the speaking bit. Remember, think before you speak. We've done the thinking, now we're going to speak. So what is this stage and why is it so important? You may or may not have heard of the poet John Betjeman. He was the UK's Poet Laureate from 1972 until he died in 1984. Now what's really interesting about Betjeman's writing technique for poetry is that he would spend days sounding out the words of the poem that he was currently working on, discarding words that didn't fit well or roll right in the mouth, until he found the perfect combination of words for the poem that he was writing. And then, and only then, would he consider the poem complete. Also, Charles Dickens did the similar sort of thing. He would pace around his room, speaking out words and searching for the perfect fits for his writing. Now, if it's good enough for Betjeman and Dickens, it really is good enough for me. And I can tell you that they did this technique, they used this technique because it really works. So now you need to begin constructing your lyrics from the things that you've noted down. So back to Lewis Capaldi. So the first thing on his sheet was day turns into night. It sounds fine, but fine isn't great. When we have a line which is just fine, we can look at which words can be swapped out. Well, day and night in this line, they're the key point of the line, so they've got to stay. The problem word in this line is turns because it's boring and functional. Of course, we know the actual line of the song was, now the day bleeds into nightfall. Changing turns to bleeds makes the line come alive. It's so much more impactful. So let's compare them, say them out. Now day turns into night. Now the day bleeds into nightfall. The second is more poetic and evocative, and it speaks and sings so beautifully. So keep writing lines for your song, but speak and sing them. Look to swap boring or functional words with impactful ones. And you can use a thesaurus to help you with this if you need to. Now, if lines are hard to say or you stumble over some of the words, look to swap things about a bit and rewrite until they speak really well. Be like Dickens and Betjeman. Once you've completed a lyric using this technique, you know it's going to be really good for three reasons. One, you know that it's impactful because you've searched your feelings and inspiration to choose a great topic. Two, you also know that the words have been chosen really carefully and they make perfect sense. And three, finally, you know that the words sound right when spoken, so if they're sung, they're going to be strong too. Now, I really hope this technique is going to help you. Use it and keep coming back to it. And remember, it's a great way to check the lyrics that you've written because you can speak them out and ensure that the words are there for good reason and that they sound right when they're spoken out. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I release new videos. And stay in, stay safe, and keep writing songs. I'll see you tomorrow for day 3.